All right, Wayne on the route with Bill O'Reilly, as we do every Monday. Great honor to have him on the show. You can find more of his wisdom at BillO'Reilly.com, and his great book, The United States of Trump, continues to be a world beater, a New York Times bestseller, and just a great book about his relationship and the things he knows about President Trump and what makes him tick. Great stuff. Bill, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me in, Wayne.
So obviously, the big news of the weekend that will barely make it in the media. No one will ever thank President Trump the way they did with Obama killing Osama bin Laden. Is that under Trump's leadership, we got the head of ISIS, the founder of ISIS, Baghdadi, in a special forces raid over the weekend. And the question is the media being fair to Trump or unfair to Trump? Because with Obama, they lauded him with, celebratory talk. He was the greatest president for doing it. And with Trump, it seems like they couldn't care less. They've even said some nice things about al-Baghdadi. Doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Well, Washington Post is a classic. So at one point, they kept changing their headline on their website. And at one point, it's the U.S. forces kill an austere religious leader. So I think it's pretty obvious that the Trump-hating media and the Democratic Party don't want to give Donald Trump credit for anything. I think everybody knows that. That's not a revelation. Now, I wrote a column just posted on BillO'Reilly.com called The Hit. And I go back to what you mentioned, Barack Obama, and what happened with Osama bin Laden being taken out. The one guy in Obama's cabinet that objected to the military raid was Joe Biden.
Obama.
No, Obama was for it. Obama was for it after he consulted, but Biden said no. And all the others, including Hillary Clinton, said, yes, go get it, which is eventually what happened. So I write this column, and there was a coming together of Americans back in 2011 when Osama bin Laden was killed, his body dumped in the ocean. I didn't know anybody who was sad about that, and the media played it up pretty big. But now that al-Baghdadi is dead, oh, it's a different story. Oh, Nancy Pelosi, oh, he didn't tell me that this was going to happen. Madam Secretary and the Madam Speaker, why would he tell you when you would leak it to the New York Times like that? Putting the raid in jeopardy.
Right.
You know you would. So it's a whole different atmosphere, Wayne. A country's a whole different country than it was 8 years ago.
And so obviously you just answered my next question, but I'll ask it again just to be on the safe side that I've got your proper answer, which is Trump was correct in not briefing Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff and Chuck Schumer and Gerald Nadler and Maxine Waters and all the people that hate his guts and have the knives out, because they would have undermined him in any way they could, correct? Don't tell him.
It's a Pentagon operation. The president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. There is no obligation, none, to brief any politician. And secrecy, obviously. We had helicopters in the air for an hour, going from Iraq to Syria. Now, the interesting part about this is that Trump did alert Russia, Syria, Iraq, and Turkey. But he didn't say what was going to happen. What he said was there's going to be American military activity in the vicinity. Don't get upset. It's going to happen. It's routine or whatever he told them. I don't know what he told them. But I do know that they were given a heads up not to shoot at our helicopters. But I think the president obviously did the right thing. It was carried out with no American casualties except for a dog, a U.S. dog used in sniffing out explosives, got hurt. And it's a tremendous victory for the United States of America.
Impeachment. Former Chief of Staff John Kelly says he feels bad that he left the job as Chief of Staff, that if he had been there, Trump would not be in the trouble he's in, and that he warned Trump when he left that if you get a yes man in that position, you're going to wind up getting impeached. Does this sound right to you? What's your take?
Well, I don't know if it's right. I know that Kelly was an independent thinker. He was not obsequious, word of the day obsequious. He did his job, I thought, pretty well. but he and Donald Trump differed on more style than substance. And I thought the general did a good job, and he left with honor. Mick Mulvaney, totally different guy. I don't know whether Kelly is besmirching Mulvaney, saying he's a yes man. I don't know the implication. But Kelly's entitled to his opinion. He was in the job. If he thinks that he could have kept Donald Trump from making a phone call that got him into trouble, maybe he's right.
All right, wisdom of the day from Bill O'Reilly, and more details, of course, always, including his commentary of the day at BillO'Reilly.com and his great new book, United States of Trump. I urge you to read it. I read it front cover to back cover on an airplane trip just 2 weeks ago. In one trip, got through the whole book. It was that good. Couldn't put it down. Bill, thanks for coming on the show.